Hi, welcome to Simply Narelle Stitches. I am Narelle from Simply Narelle, and this is my little corner of the YouTube internets where I talk about my cross stitching. Today is Flosstube number 54, and it is Monday the 8th of June 2026. And I hope everyone else in Australia who has a public holiday today is having a wonderful, restful and peaceful day. It's not a public holiday here in Queensland, unfortunately. We had one not that long ago, so I wish we could have, all of them being national, and that'd be heaps of good days off. But anyway, today's a working day for me. Alright, so I filmed last Monday and I showed you Autumn Montage by Janet Stever. Janet Stever. Sounds wrong. I'm sure that's her name. And the charts used to be available at Pain Free Crafts, and they then discontinued them. Thanks to Jill, who let me know that they have brought them back. So if you want any of the Janet Stever charts, so that is the 4 seasonal ones, the summer, winter, autumn, spring montage, I have them all. I have them all in some sort of starting fashion, not much into any of them. But if you want those, as well as her vegetable series, they're available again on Pain Free Crafts. So jump across there and check them out. Next, I'm going to show you my whips because 1st of June started the Just Kits June. So that means that I am working on my kits throughout this month, and I'm trying to also do Whip Go Catch Up. Now, I have not been successful with my Whip Go Catch Up at all. And I can hear the postie out the front, so I'm just going to pause for a second. Okay, hopefully he put it in the letterbox. I know I'm getting a delivery today, and it is small enough to go in the letterbox, and I heard him stop and I heard a beep, but I don't know whether he left it at the front door or in the letterbox, so I'll go out and check after this. Anyway, I struggled to get into my stitching this week. I don't know what was going on. So I did no Whip Go Catch Up. I just did my kits, a couple of other extra things, but I only have 9 whips to share or to show this week. I was just really tired, and when I sat down to stitch them a night, it was like I'd do 100 stitches and then I'd play a game on my phone, and then I'd do another 100 stitches, and then it's like, nah, I can't be bothered doing anymore. And that was the way my week went, unfortunately. But I guess we all have weeks like that, and I don't want to get into a situation where I force myself to do lots and lots of stitching, because then it gets to feel like a job rather than fun, and then I get sick of it and go, no, I don't want to stitch anymore, and then I take months off. I don't want to do that because I love all my whips and I want to see progress on them all, so I want to keep going. I just don't want to force it, if that makes sense. Okay, so the first one up is, okay, I have this one in my thing here, in my pile, because it was in my tub, but I didn't actually work on it. So let's put that one back in there. I think it's When Witches Right, and I probably put it in my tub because I had intentions, like I said last week, to work on it during the week every couple of days or so to keep it moving forward, because it's close to a finish. But the week I had, I didn't do that, unfortunately. So let's start again. Okay, so this one is technically a new start, but it's not, and it is Golfing Partners by Elsa Williams. That is what it's going to look like when it's done. Now, the reason it's a new start but not is because I've already stitched the male golfer, but I kept it on my whip list because there's a female golfer as well to stitch. So it's counted as one whip, but I'm counting each one as a separate finish. So this was counted as a finish, and now she is counted as a new start, but it's the same whip. And this was the first one spun on my wheel for my Just Kits June. And I'm doing it on the one piece of fabric. And I started the female golfer. So let me just fold the fabric. So there we go. I started the female golfer. I just started with the border and I put into this one 556 stitches and I just worked on it once. So that is the border. And when I finished the male, I couldn't decide whether I wanted to do them as separate pieces and frame them separately or do them on the one large piece. And then when I sat down to start this, I still couldn't work out what I wanted to do. So then I thought about, well, okay, when it comes to framing, I do my framing myself and I buy the frames from charity shops because they're dirt cheap. And I thought the likelihood of me finding two matching or similar long skinny frames is much lower than finding a large frame to fit them both on. So I'm stitching them side by side. So that is probably as wide as it's going to be. And I know I would be able to find a frame for that to fit in as opposed to two skinny frames. I wouldn't be able to find them. They are quite rare because these are quite long. So the bigger frame, I know from what I've seen and what I've already got from op shops, the bigger frame is going to be easier for me to source. So they are on the one piece of fabric. They were designed to be done individually, like the picture shows, and framed individually, but I'm doing them together. So I think I just counted across, where'd they go? Where'd she go? Okay, so there, I counted across, I think it was 10 stitches between the two golf balls at the top. I went, yeah, that's a nice sort of border or a space in between. So that is that one. So I'm going to have some fabric left over. This is the kit fabric and it is, I can't tell with counts just by looking at the fabric. It's 14 count Aida. So I'm sure I'll be able to find something that's long and skinny or even, you know, that way. Like the drawn thread or something. I've got a few of those that are long like that or wide like that, landscape mode. So if I can't find anything to fit on that because it's 14 Aida, then I'm sure I can design something for it. Won't let that bit of fabric go to waste. Oh, and I forgot to mention last week, I was going to talk about fabric. Oh dear, I need to rob a bank or something. I don't know, win lotto. Fabric is so expensive. I am a planner, so I'm planning forward. And I'm planning what I'm doing in September, and I've decided to do sampler September. So I don't have any more traditional samplers like the Anne Morrison one or things like that. I don't have any currently on the go. I have things that could be classed as samplers, but they're not traditional samplers. So I thought, well, I have some really nice ones in my stash from Hands Across the Sea that I'd really like to start. So I contacted two shops where I have traditionally got fabric before, and man, it's expensive. One, would you believe, was $450 for, I think it was 5 pieces of fabric that I wanted. And it's like, oh my gosh, like I haven't bought fabric for a long time, obviously. I haven't bought much stash at all for years. So I think I'd lost track of how much they were, and I know they're always on the more expensive side because they're hand dyed, all the rest of it. But I hadn't accounted for how much they'd gone up in the recent years. So I've told both shops that, well, actually I don't know if I've contacted the second one. Oops, I haven't replied to her email. And said that, well, I don't need them till September. So I'm going to give the list to my family and they can decide to buy them or not for my birthday in August. So, but fabric is expensive. Yeah. Anyway, so I was totally shocked when I got the prices back. I went, oh, but I really want to start these charts because I have them in my stash and I love them. And oh, anyway, next Another kit for Just Kits June is Teacup Birds. This is a Dimensions kit. That is what it's going to look like when it is finished. So when I do a kit, I use all the called for in the kit, or everything that's included in the kit. So I use the kit fabric and the threads and everything. But oh my gosh, this fabric, it is horrible. It's like, what's the other kit that I have that has similar fabric? It is really stiff and horrible. Mason Jar Line Up by Dimensions. It's the same fabric and it's horrible. It is really stiff and it's just hard to get the needle through for some reason. So I don't know. Anyway, it is done on 14 count Aida. It's a very stiff 14 count Aida. This is where it is right now. Okay, so there we have our Teacup Birds. I had done this one and that's where a page finishes, but I wanted to work from the left across, so I moved across and started this teacup, and I put into it 285 stitches. So yeah, I really love this one. Really love it. The colors in it are really vibrant. I'm sorry my light is not that great. It's probably not showing it properly. Beautiful. Love it. But I do have a mark on the top of my fabric. See that? I'm glad it's at the top and not anywhere else. I got a splinter during the week when I was gardening, and so I put on, I don't know if anyone knows it, but I call it, and I've always grown up calling it drawing ointment, and it's that little jar of black stuff, looks like Vegemite but it's not, and I put that on where the splinter was, then a band-aid, and then I'd wash my hands and my band-aid was wet and I didn't realize that the black ointment was oozing out the band-aid, and I think I was taking this off the Q-snap or something and got that mark on it, and I looked at it and I went, what is that mark? And then I felt it and went, oh, that's wet. What is that from? I said, I got nothing wet, like. And then I realized, oh, it's the band-aid. It's the black ointment oozing out the band-aid. So just as well it's up on the top of the border and no one's going to see it. I thought that could have turned out so much worse. But anyway, next we have, all right, so this one doesn't have a name. It has a number. It's by Lynart. I just call it Yellow Pot. I don't even know. Does it have a number? It doesn't have anything on it. Oh yeah, number 34510. Well, I call it Yellow Pot. So that is what it's going to look like. This is donkey's years old. I bought this kit. Would have been in the 1990s. And it was going to get done and put above the tall boys in my home, and that was when I first got married, so that was 1999, and it was going to go above the tall boys in the bedroom. Yeah, well, you know, it's 2026 and I've moved a few times since then and it's still not finished, and our bedroom is not the yellows and blue colors anymore. And when we moved into the house that we built after that, I went, oh well, our bedroom's not that color anymore, I can put it in the guest bedroom, because that was yellows and blues, and it didn't make it there either. And then we moved in 2017 and we don't have a guest bedroom anymore. It's now my office because we have no one to stay as guests, because my parents used to stay quite often. They've both passed away, so we've got no one that stays as a guest anymore, so I don't need a guest bedroom. I turned it into an office instead for me. So anyway, I'll show you all of it. So this is all of it. Okay, so I'm hoping to finish this one this year because it's been around a long time, and I worked on it, now I've covered up my notes, once for 417 stitches. So I worked up the top here where the flowers are up here, and I put in here this section here, those little flowers there, and it's on pre-printed fabric, and it's such beautiful fabric to work on. Oh my gosh, it is soft and it's just like butter. It's really nice. It is 27 count. No, it's not. What? It says 14 count Aida, but then it's got threads per count, 27 count. I'm really confused. 10.5 threads per centimetre, 27 count in brackets, and then it's got Aida 14 count in brackets. So who knows what it is? Is it 14 count? Yeah, it is 14 count, I think. So yeah, that's where that one is. So just the flowers to finish at the top, which is not a great deal. And then the pot, and there's a huge amount of flowers down here to do. So there's still quite a lot to do on this one. Sorry about the glare. But I still love it. Beautiful, beautiful project. And you can see on the side of the fabric where I think this wasn't my first project, but it was pretty well close to my first. And the staining there is from masking tape, when I put masking tape around the edges to stop it fraying. I've got to get my overlocker fixed. It's broken because I have quite a bit of fabric to serge or whips, sorry, I'll get the right terminology in a minute, to overlock around the edge to stop them fraying. Okay, next. Okay, in a tiny little bag, I've got it all shoved in there, little bag, and it's chokers. This is leftover fabric, I think, so I still use it. Okay, this one is a dimensions kit called Indian Peacock, and that is what, I'm sorry, it's all scrunched up and folded. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. So I worked up here in the top of these, like these flowers. Now there's not much of the peacock done, and it'll look strange because I started in the middle and I've worked my way up, and I haven't finished the head of the peacock yet. But I'm sorry, I decided to work across to work in these flowers, get them done, and then work down. That's the method to my madness. Okay, and that is where it is now. No, hang on, wrong one. Yes, no, I did. I worked on those flowers. So I just worked on another peacock last night, and I did a similar thing. And I was looking at the flowers when I was looking at this going, hang on, I stitched yellow last night. There's no yellow in these flowers. No, because it's the wrong whip. So that's where we are right now. Just move my needle minder aside. My dog can hear me probably, and he's going, what? Who are you talking to? This way, I don't know if you can hear him. He's barking in the background. All right, so this is where I started in the middle, worked my way up. There's the Indian peacock, but there's the peacock's face. You can see sort of the gap for the eye. That's his top feathers, and then I worked my way across that sort of background and worked my way across to start the flowers. So I worked on this once for 292 stitches. Yes, this is a long one, but I love peacocks. We have a neighborhood peacock that wanders around. So that's why I do a lot of peacock stuff, because they're pretty birds. And plus, you know, we have a neighborhood peacock, so why not? Okay, so that was that one. Okay. Oh my gosh, Benji be shushing. Okay, what's the tag on this one? My husband's out there. He's not telling him to be quiet. Okay. Next we have an anchor kit. I call it Birds Sampler. Yes, because that's what it's called. There's Bird Sampler down there. So that is what it's going to look like when it is finished. Pretty sure I got this off a D-stash quite a few years ago. And this one scared me for a long time, and that's why I have hardly worked on it, because it just looks really detailed, but it's actually not that bad. So I worked on it once, and I put in 397 stitches. And wait, where are we? And this one still freaks me out if I have the fabric the right way, and it just seems like a really big piece of fabric, and the middle just seems to be way over to one side rather than the middle. I don't know if I've done it right, but I guess we'll see when I get further along. So that is where it is now. So that is the middle, I believe. That's the end of the page. So that's sort of one, yeah, you know what I mean, because I can't talk today. All right, so what did I say? 397 stitches. I put in all this over here. So I've worked across from, oh gosh, this light, I still haven't arranged the office. I'm so sorry, to make it easier to get natural light in here. So this is the middle, that's sort of the grass and the brown bit here under the cow. So that's sort of that bit we're coming across here. So that's that browny bit and there, I believe. And then that is that bird there. So these are the leaves there that I did, and that's the start of that bird. So yeah, I'm sorry, that is so hard to see. I don't know how to angle it better. No, maybe like that. There we go, that's not too bad. So that was the grass I'd already put in, and grass down there, and the brown of the dirty patch. And then I just counted across here, did a bit more of a grassy background until I could get over to do these leaves, and started that bird. Yeah. So like I keep looking at it going, is this in the middle? Is like, but I think it is. Like, I still don't know, because if that's the middle and that's the bird, that's the border around the outside, then over here, isn't that going to be very close over there? I don't know. Did I do something wrong? It just looks like I have way too big a border over here, and on this side here, I think I'm not going to have enough. I don't know. So I'm tempted to, before I go too much further, to stitch across to the border and start over here, just to reassure myself that I have enough fabric and that I've done it right. So I don't know. Yeah, I find this kit, the pattern, it's just really confusing, like as in how they have it laid out. So they have, I'll show it because you can't stitch anything from it. But I think I'm used to like page maps that a lot of designers do, and they have, you know, they'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll have them numbered, so it's easy to see what page goes where. But these ones, they don't. They just have each page on its separate sheet. And it took me a while to realize that up there is the page number. So it's a B, so it's A, B, C, D. And then you've got to work out how they align. So this one joins up to A, and then, what's that say? And then C down there. So it's like, So I started here. All right, so this is page A. Okay, so I started there, page A, which to me is a really odd placement. Because is that the top? That might be the top. Wait a minute. Hang on. Bear with me. So that's A. So A does basically this quadrant there. Okay. So I started in the middle and then worked across. So the middle of A, or the middle of the design, which is the edge there of A, that should be the middle of the fabric. I'm hoping. Saying that, there's no big arrow up there, is there? No, there's not. Okay, that's the middle. Why on earth would they do that? I've just noticed that big arrow there. That's the middle of the pattern. So I am probably 15 stitches over to the right too far. Maybe because I've taken that as the middle, whereas the middle's over here. Oh well, it's not too bad. I think it'll fit. It'll just, and I could also be, because I've taken this as the middle, and look, that arrow's there. So, yeah. Anyway, we'll see. But I think I'm gonna, peace of mind, I'm gonna work across to the other side, I think, and then see where my border ends up on the right hand side. I don't know. I could have totally stuffed this one all together. Who knows? It still confuses me. Like, I really am still confused. I am really confused. Because I am so confused. Oh no, I'm not. That bird's on the left. Why was I thought that bird and leaves that I had just done was on the right hand side. I'm going, well, hang on, that's on the wrong side of the chart. Oh my gosh, I need another sip of coffee because I'm losing it. Yeah. And I don't know whether I've just got this one in my head that it's difficult, because I struggle with if it's going to fit, have I got it placed right. Maybe that's just, I'm making it harder than it needs to be. Probably, wouldn't surprise me. Okay, next. Okay. This one is not from Just Kits June. It is one that I should have stitched a lot more on it before now, and I totally have forgotten about it. I'm so sorry. It is the Quilted Farm Girl from the Fat Quarter Shop. They sent me everything to stitch this, so I feel really slack that I have hardly touched it. I put it in a different place of my whips. I put it down in kitted future projects and totally forgot about it. So I'm going to leave this out and attempt to keep doing this, you know, throughout the week, every week, so I can get some more progress. I'm up here. Now this is a 12-month sale, and I'll have the link below where you can get this and everything about it. So I think Laurie did or Fat Quarter Shop did a blog post about it and all sorts of stuff. So I'll find whatever I can and I'll link it below, because I do love this. It is so pretty. Look at her with her basket of, the basket of strawberries, and it's just so cute. So this one I worked on twice and did 487 stitches. I'll just move my needle minder. So I am using, for this one, what are they? Are they Weeks Dye Works? So Classic Colourworks threads. So that's the colour palette. So they sent me all the threads. I normally do a DMC conversion. They do offer a DMC alternate, and I normally do use that, but I thought, no, this time they asked if I wanted everything sent, and I said, yeah, okay, I'm gonna use the Classic Colourworks. So they are the colours, beautiful colours. You can probably see better on this side. They sent the floss ring with the little drop on it of the quilted star. And what did I say? I worked on this twice for 487 stitches, and this is one that I need to get my overlocker fixed for, so I can do the edges, and that is where I am right now. So I finished this one, this wasn't finished, did this one, and then did the bee. So that is where we are. I made a mistake on this already. This here, even though it looks like what's on here, it sort of looks the same, doesn't it? Yes, well, no. Because I miscounted. So in here, there's 7 stitches across there, from in that darker grey, and it's meant to be 7 down here as well. It's meant to be square. Well, I miscounted and I did 6 down here, but then I did 7 across there, and then because, you know, I'd already done that, I just did the 6 up there. And then when I came to do the little white, the 3 white crosses there, I went, hang on, I can't fit one in there, what's going on? And then I realized, oh dear, that's not working because I'm a stitch short. So it's a little bit different, a little bit shorter, but it's not that noticeable. Okay, so it's really not that noticeable. It's a little bit odd shaped mine, but if you glance at it, you're not going to know that's wrong. And as long as I don't use it to count off, particularly down this way, then I should be fine. So next I'm going to do this one here and then use that as my counting, or even this one, and count down, right, and across, right, and I can't use that one to count on. But that is the Quilted Farm Girl. Love it. It's a, like I said, it's a 12-month stitch along, so you can still join at any time. And if you are, you know, not forgetful like me and remember to work on it regularly, you'll get it done in the 12 months. Okay. Yeah, so this now will also be a regular stitch because I need to catch up because we're halfway through the month and I've done next to none on it. So that one hopefully you'll see quite often. Okay, next. This is our third last one I'm showing you. And it is a dimensions kit. This paper's getting a bit screwed up. This is called Bedfordshire Sunset. That is my dream home. I want to live there. I so want to live there. In the English countryside with that beautiful cottage garden. Oh my Lord, that's heaven. Yes, yes, yes. And I worked on this once and did 370 stitches, and this is where it is right now. So I worked on the cottage and went, oh, there is so much sky and trees on this to do and background. I need to get a start on them because otherwise I will just, sorry, itchy nose, I will just do the cottage and not come back to it because I don't want to do the boring trees and sky. So the 370 stitches were done up here in the sky. That apricot colour and the green is what I mainly worked on. Now, this sky I have done with 2 threads full cross, and I'm sure the instructions say to do half crosses, but I went, I really can't stand half crosses. If I don't have to do them, I will avoid them. So I've done full crosses instead of half crosses, so it's stronger visually than what it is on the actual here. So see there, that's, I think that's the side, no, it's this side I'm doing here with that tree. So you can tell, no you can't because this lighting is horrible, but it just looks deeper and stronger. That is quite light up there, but mine is not. Is that where I'm stitching? Yes, that's where I'm stitching, up there. So you see there's a whole lot of background in this, but that is quite light. I think my fabric is darker than theirs because that does not look like grey, that looks like white. But anyway, it is what it is. This is the kit fabric, it's dove grey that came with the kit. So that's what I've done, and that's where it's at. And this one is really old. I think I bought this in the 1990s as well. I don't know if it has a copyright on it. I photocopied the front page because it was on a bag, and I don't know whether the shop I bought it from had kitted it up like that or whether it came like that from Dimensions, but it was on a green carry bag with the twine handles, and I didn't want to keep the bag, it was too big and bulky, so I photocopied the front of it, and that's why this is on a bit of paper, but I've chopped off the details on the bottom, so I can't tell you like the fabric count or anything like that. I'm pretty sure it's 14 count grey, dove grey, whatever it's called, Ada. So that is that one. Next we have, second last one is another peacock. This one, oh my gosh, it took me 2 hours, probably 2 hours to find this project. Okay, because I had this on my list as just a number. Because up here, it's a Rayolas kit, and this is what it is. Okay, so I just knew it as 1834, but it also has a name down here, Eastern Beauty. So on my list of my whips, I'd called it 1834, but on the tag on the bag tag, I'd written Eastern Beauty, upside down, Eastern Beauty. And then I was trying to find it in all my whips, looking for 1834 on the tag, and I couldn't find it. And I pulled all my whips out and was going through the whole office and went, what on earth have I done with this whip? I know I haven't thrown it out. It is still here. I've seen it quite recently. I don't know where it is. And then I went to my document of all my whips, which I have the pictures in, the cover photos, and then I went, let me open that bigger. And then I went, oh, look, it's got a name. Or maybe I've called it that. And then bingo, found it. Oh, but it took me ages to find it. So this is a long, like a bell pull. So I've got somewhere, hopefully still, the top around the top around the bottom. But it's a gorgeous long peacock. And this is one where I was saying before that I thought I was showing the wrong whip because I worked in the oranges and the yellows. And there was no oranges and yellows on that last one. All right, so this is how long the fabric is. Oh, gosh, what have I done? So it is really super long. Oh my gosh. And this is what I have done so far. So that is what I've done. Not a lot. I'm sorry there's a huge crease in the middle. I'll try and pull that down. Wrong bit of fabric. Flatten that out. All right, so that there is what I was saying, that I remember stitching on orange and yellow last night, but it wasn't in the other whip, yeah, because it was the wrong whip. So anyway, that is where it's at. I did 350 stitches last night, so I did all them. I'd done the white outline already, and I did the yellow and the orange last night. Yeah. So there you go. That is that one. And I don't know my plan of attack on this one. I would like to work from the top down, but where are these flowers? I think I'm at those flowers there. So that's sort of like in the middle. That's an awful long way to like work up scattered stitches to then work down. So I don't know. I might just work up completing as I go sort of thing. Work to the top and then come and work down. Those flowers are gorgeous. I really, really love those flowers. And they look more, to me they looked more apricot-y on the, like on the picture. But then when I was stitching it, was like, man, they're really orange, like really orange. So anyway, I'm using all the called for, so whatever came in the kit, the fabric and the floss, and it's that wool acrylic, I believe it is. And the fibers, oh my gosh, they go everywhere and make my nose really itchy. So I'm not allergic to them at all. It just like it's there's something little flying around, little bug flying around. Yeah, they're just like little fibers come off it, so it just like always gets up my nose. So anyway, and the last whip I have to show you is I'll Be Home Cottages by Twin Peak Primitives. And this is for my rugby league rumble, and it's all in, the cottage is all in one. Let me get the picture out in case you haven't seen it before. All right, so this, oops, is what it's going to look like when it's done. So we have a cottage, more like a huge house for every month, because there's a lot of stitching in these. I'm using this for rugby league rumble, which is whenever my football team plays the Redcliffe Dolphins, I will stitch the number of stitches times 10 for the score they got. So we had a wonderful game on Saturday. Yeah, 5:30 Saturday they played, and we won. Yay! And we scored 40 points, which means I had to put another 400 stitches into it, which I did, and I did more. So this I put 698 stitches into it. So I finished the house. Yay! Finished the house, bought the green grass across. Now I need to do the pot on this side, the month, which is July, and I believe there's like birds, eagles either side of July. So that is what I'll do next time. So I did the 400 stitches for the game plus some more, and I now have 709 to catch up. So they're playing again this Friday night, I believe. And I don't think we will score much for several reasons. One is we're playing the Roosters, and they are above us on the ladder, and they're going quite well, so they're a tough team anyway. And we have 5 players out for State of Origin again. So State of Origin is between Queensland and New South Wales, and we've got 5 that are being picked for second game. We had 4 last game in State of Origin. This time we've got 5. So our 5, not our 5 top players, because every single player in our team is amazing, but 5 players out is quite a lot against playing against a really strong team. So I don't know how we'll go. But the Roosters they had 4 or 5 last team as well pulled out for State of Origin. So I don't know how many they've got in this round of State of Origin. So we could be evenly matched in that regard. But yeah, I don't hold out much hope that we're going to get a lot of points. But anyway, I'll still stitch for the length of the game, and then probably continue stitching on this for the rest of the night, and yeah, hopefully can get some decent stitches in. So hang on a minute, let me just put this away. Okay, so that's all the whips that I worked on during the week. Plans going forward is still to do my Just Kits June, so work on whatever the wheel spins for the kit for that day, and then try and get a bit more motivated to do more stitches, and also work on a Whip Go catch up project, because I haven't worked on any Whip Go catch ups this week. Some of them were though a Whip Go call that I hadn't stitched on yet. So I think out of that lot there might have been 3, I think, that were on my Whip Go board that I coloured in. Only one of them was a Whip Go catch up, so the others were months going forward. So that will be handy going forward, not having to do as many a month. Yeah, so anyway, we had a giveaway last week, and it was for Anne Morrison, which I didn't ring across. I do have it over there, and our winner is Jen's Stitchy Place. Congratulations, Jen. Please email me. My email address will be in the box below. Email me your postal address and I will get that in the mail for you this coming week. All the other prizes so far have been posted. I know a few have been received, so thank you for letting me know that you have them, and I hope you enjoy them. So this week we have another chart to give away. So what I'm doing is the charts that I have stitched that are in still decent condition, I'm going to do a giveaway for. Now I did have a question. I want your opinion. I do have some other charts that were paper charts that I have used, marked off in lead pencil and then rubbed the pencil out. So they're a little bit more used than some of these. Some of these, like today's one in Anne Morrison, I photocopied the chart because they're in booklets and they're harder to mark off in the booklet. So I make a working copy. I don't always do that. So for one I can think of, for example, is a dimension stocking. So I did not make a copy of that because the chart is huge and I can't bother fandangling it on the copier to make a copy of it. So I colour in with lead pencil the original chart and then rub it out when I'm done. Also, some of them might have where it's folded and been folded and folded and folded. Along the fold line, it might be hard to see the symbols, or there could be a slight hole in the where the four folds meet, sort of thing. If they're really, really bad, I won't pass them on. But would you be interested if I offer those? I suppose I should show them to see if anyone's interested at the time. So I'm running out of charts that I've got that I can pass on that are in a really good condition. So yeah, we'll see going forward. So if you're not worried about, you know, the chart, it's been marked and rubbed out, then you'll be happy about some of those giveaways. Anyway, so the one that I have today to give away does have someone else's name in it because I bought this off a D-Stash site. So there's someone has written their name up here in a pen and I can't erase it. So that is that one. All right, so today's giveaway is Strawberry Fields Forever by Blackbird Designs. My daughter stitched this one. This was her first cross stitch. She did an amazing job. And yeah, so if you want this one, the keyword to use is strawberry, STRAWBERRY. So strawberry, put strawberry in your comment below. Be 18, so that 18 over, so I can ask for your postal address. I'll post anywhere in the world. And don't say giveaway, free, anything like that. And good luck. So you don't have to put strawberry in a fancy sentence or anything like that. You can just put the word strawberry and be done. And good luck for anyone who wants that chart. So that is it for me today. Thank you so much for dropping by and checking out what I have done. And I hope to see you next Monday. So the draw for this, I will close off Monday morning, whatever date that is. You know, I can't work that out in my head. Next Monday, probably by 9 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, so convert that to wherever you are, but 9 a.m. my time, Brisbane time, Australia, and then I will draw the winner on my next video. So thank you so much for watching. Have a fantastic week, get lots of stitches in, and until next time, happy stitching. Bye bye.